everyone. Welcome back to Poppin In with Alexa and Molly. I'm Molly.
And I'm Alexa.
And we just have to say, we recorded our last episode last Monday, and then Tuesday, like, the biggest news of the nation happened.
It was crazy. Even Chris said he, like, walked out of his office and someone was like, have you heard the news? And he was like, oh, God, what's happened? And they were like, Taylor Swift got engaged.
But do you think, like, it's crazy how every time we record, it's like the next day or
Something
that night
happens.
something happens. It's like we're cursed, or we need to
know.
pick. Maybe things just happen on Tuesdays, and we need to pick a different day to record.
I don't know, but we want you guys to know that we are, like, up on the
We
pop.
are.
We just
also have, like, with peace and love, we have, like, lives, so it's like we don't. Like, it's not like we can just, like, jump on the microphone every time news happens.
We, like, just do, like, an emergency broadcast. Like, this bit of pop culture, Taylor Swift got engaged, and then that's it.
we should start doing that,
actually. People would be like,
it'd be very
whoa.
funny. I think people would really trust us, so that we could be the new, like, Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, true. We're, like, I literally exit out of a Teams meeting. I'm like, sorry, guys. Breaking news.
Gotta run.
Yeah.
We're, like,
We're the new E-News.
So, that is to say, because the thing is, we were talking about Taylor and Travis last Monday with friend of the pod, Megan, who's a huge Taylor Swift fan. We had her on last Monday, or, last week. We recorded it. Next day, they got engaged.
I know.
Way bigger news.
And I put the topic down on our timestamps as I do every week. If you don't know, we put the timestamps in the episode description, and they're on our Instagram post at Poppin In Podcast, so follow us. And I was like, now this seems dumb because we're just talking about the new album, and she got engaged.
Follow us, and you know what? I was reminded of this by friend of the pod, Eric, today. Put our notification, tap that bell button. Put our notifications on so you
ring
know,
that bell, baby.
So you know every time we post, then you can see when our question of the weeks come up.
Yeah.
We didn't have one this week, but whatever.
Yeah. Ring my bell. Ring my bell. And that way you can never miss any of our beautiful harmonizing.
Oh, we always do like a mic check before we start, and we harmonized.
Yeah, I just did one note, and you met me where I was. I
needed
appreciate
to,
that.
Yeah.
Speaking of popular singers, us.
Well, anyway, so yeah, Taylor, we would be remiss if we did not say that.
Well, because it's crazy. So I do think, like, we usually don't cover Taylor Swift because we're just not huge Swifties, so we're not, like, in the lore or anything. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's such big news, it literally felt like Princess Diana got engaged.
Well, it was literally like a royal got engaged, because I think, like, even I remember it happened last week. I remember, like, DoorDash was giving, like, discounts for like other like businesses, like, companies were, like, giving discounts for her being engaged. Like,
which I will say, like, when a pop culture moment happens, it almost reminded me of the Coldplay thing where it was like, this is funny, we're all enjoying this together, whatever. And then it's like they turn it into something corporate, where then I was like,
it's like, never mind.
Why are these businesses, like, they're making, like, a meme of it? And I was like, why can't we just, like, enjoy this thing as it is without it being like, oh, haha, we're in on social media.
Also, this is really off topic. This has nothing to do with the engagement. But I'm really sick of, like, the fast food chains, social medias really piss me off. They try to be, like, very, like, I guess, like, a 20-something-year-old, like, a Gen Z is probably running the accounts. But if they're not, it's, like, super corny, because, like, KFC, like, there's, like, the thing of, like, here, damn, like, that thing. Like, KFC posted a photo of, like, one of their potato wedges, like, their potato wedges back or whatever, and they posted it with, like, here, damn. And I'm like, please stop, like, trying to be, like, I don't know, it
feels
really
very
annoys
millennial.
me.
Like, I think when businesses first started doing that, and it was like, oh, wow, like, Wendy's is tweeting, dropping a diss album. Like, that's crazy. And now it's just, like,
really embarrassing. You guys are a company.
Yeah, like, we know you're a corporation.
Yeah.
We know you're not, like, I don't know.
Like a 22-year-old girl.
Yeah, like, they're just, like,
I don't know.
And as someone who works in marketing, this is so off topic, but here's what I'm, like, imagining it has gone on in those, like, advertising rooms where it's like, 10 years ago, people were probably like, we should do this. We should make it seem like we're in with, like, we know the lingo, or you know the memes or whatever. And then, like, the older people are like, I don't think so. It doesn't really fit. It's not on brand for us. And now, like, other companies have done it. They've seen it and they're like, maybe we should. And it's too late. It's too late. So listen to your young interns is what I'm saying. Because they're on to the trends before you are. And sometimes I think they're probably right.
Yeah.
This is just, I have nothing to back that up with. But
back to the engagement.
Yeah. I will say, I think it was a beautiful engagement, like, where they got married. Sorry, I just took my flannel off. I'm like,
where they got engaged.
Sorry, where they got engaged. I thought it was beautiful. I thought the picture looked really nice. I mean, she looked genuinely happy.
And apparently, so the post, it was posted last week, but they had actually gotten engaged 2 weeks earlier when when Taylor was on Travis's podcast with his brother, New Heights. She was on there for like 2 hours. It was like a 2-hour episode, whatever. And while they were recording the episode, he was secretly having people like set up the engagement. So then when she came out, like he proposed to her. So that's sweet. But they are engaged. And that's kind of it. I mean, that's all we have to say. I just felt like we should talk about it.
I am excited to see like what she picks out for her wedding dress. Like the thing
There's so many 2026 brides too. Well, assuming she gets married in 2026.
That's what I was thinking. I was literally thinking. I was like, wow, every celebrity feels like they're getting married.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, actually, no, that makes sense because it's all the celebrities who are around our age, and this is like the age normally that people are like getting married at a lot because it's like Zendaya.
I know, and I got it at Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift.
Sophia Franklin just got engaged. Actually, apparently, like the same day that Taylor Swift did. She's the former Call Her Daddy host.
She's just always overshadowed.
Yeah, which is interesting.
That's actually really tragic.
Someone else just got engaged too. Who am I thinking? Oh, well, Selena Gomez. She just had her bachelorette.
Yeah, I guess she'll be a 2026 bride, assuming. I don't know when these people are having their
we're not on the invite list, and we've noticed.
Yeah. Taylor, I'm interested to see what her wedding is, but honestly, more than anything, like the most is Zendaya for me. Like I don't know if we'll ever see photos.
They're very private people, and that, I'll be honest, and this is very selfish of me, I get kind of mad when, even if it's like been 10 years after a celebrity's gotten married, I'm like, there's no wedding photos?
I know.
How am I supposed to get any inspo? How am I supposed to know? I'm curious for Travis and Taylor if it's going to be a huge ceremony or a small one. I could see them going either way. Zendaya will probably be, also we should say, and Tom Holland, she's engaged to Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Will probably be like a smaller private one because they're like both just private people in general.
Maybe private, but like I feel like they both know. Like whatever, we don't know them, so I don't know.
I feel like I do. I feel like I personally know them.
But I just remember her, like LaRoche was like, I don't think you'll ever see her photos. Like you'll ever see like what her dress looks like. And so just means that there may not be photos. I don't know. And
I will say, as someone who just recently bought like a wedding dress, I looked at like a lot of celebrities for like inspo, and I realized I was like, there actually is kind of like a limitation of, there's only so much you can do with a wedding dress. You know what I mean? Like you can do like little things here and there, but for the most part, a lot of them are kind of like a certain cut. They're all going to be usually white, and then like,
did you see whose wedding dress?
Chloe Grace Mort.
Chloe Grace? No, but she just got engaged. Who was it that had?
No, I think they got married.
Was she the one with the blue dress? Is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, she had the blue wedding dress. It was gorgeous.
Can I see? I didn't see that. I saw her wife's wedding dress, which was also very pretty.
Oh, I'm curious. Yeah, I didn't see.
At least I think it was.
This is all the only photo I have. Sorry for those who haven't seen it.
That's very beautiful.
It was Louis Vuitton. Maybe that was just.
But I think to do something different, like you've got to go like a different color. Or I will say, like my favorite wedding dresses of celebrities have been like not Princess Diana, Lily Collins. Why did I get those two confused? Those are because hers felt very her, and I love a lace action. I also, always Kate Middleton, Pippa Middleton.
Who are you thinking of?
Meghan Markle's. I was kind of I liked her like reception dress, her second dress, better than her main dress. I could see Taylor Swift either doing something. I think she's just going to do something very girly, which is like a wedding dress is naturally girly, but like kind of in like a
vintagey classic way.
Yeah, I could see that for her. Which I'm excited. I'm excited to see all these as a fellow 2026 bride. As someone in the pack, I'm excited to see what everyone does.
I am too.
Yeah. But that's all we really had to say about that. So speaking of like big dress fashion, so one, I have to announce that Molly texted me this morning as in Wheel of Fortune style and revealed that she's going to give the Gilded Age a try.
And like, I know that's not like a huge announcement right now, but like to Alexa,
it was huge.
9 a.m. when I decided to text her that.
Yeah.
It was huge.
You were like texting me like one word at a time, and I was just like, what is it? What?
And that was really based on, so yesterday, I was telling people this at work today, actually. Yesterday, like last night, me and my mom went to see a movie together.
Yeah.
And you guys were both like, I was sitting in the middle, but I was literally just like sitting there while you guys talked over me talking about the Gilded Age.
I know, I felt bad.
And you guys both love your little Outlander spinoff series.
Yeah.
So you guys are just like talking about that while I'm just like sitting there. And I realized, like, and then you guys were continuing to talk about it after the movie.
Mm.
And I was like, you guys mentioned, like, one thing about the Gilded Age. And I was like, I might watch it now.
Yeah. Your mom mentioned, like, a villain character.
Yes. He kind of gave, and correct me if I'm wrong, my favorite character from Downton Abbey was Thomas, which is kind of wild. But he was kind of the villain, like, sort of villain-ish, but, like, misunderstood or whatever. And he kind of, like, the way you and my mom were describing this character in the Gilded Age, I was like, is he the Thomas of the show?
Maybe. I don't want to, like, I think your mom and I were starting to get into details, and I had to, like, stop us because I was like, no, because I think Molly sometimes says she's going to watch.
And also I see a lot of spoilers. I'm going to be honest with you, half the movies we see, I've already read the entire plot.
Why? What's the joy in that?
I forget. And also it's fun to read something and then see it play out, you know?
That's crazy.
I know. But sometimes I also forget what I read, so it's fine.
Yeah, I get that.
I love spoilers. I know, it's like a really unpopular opinion.
I think that is very interesting.
If I were to ever call into unpopular opinion on BBC One radio show, they do like an unpopular opinion game, I would say that. I like really love spoilers.
That's interesting. I don't know what my unpopular opinion would be.
I don't always love spoilers. You have a lot of unpopular opinions.
Oh, okay. Wow.
No, I just mean like, not in a mean way. I just mean like you seem to have a lot.
I hate paprika. That's a big one. People
Really?
always feel shocked about that one.
I don't.
Fuck paprika.
That doesn't bother me.
That little baby spice, whatever.
But I just mean like you always are like, this may be an unpopular opinion. Like, you say that a lot, so that's what I mean.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to start noting that. But what I was getting at is, because I was thinking about big dresses, so I've been meaning to, this has been on the docket for a while, I just want to talk about it a little bit. The Buccaneers Season 2 came out. If you don't know, one of my period piece lineups, me and Paige DeSorbo both watch this from Giggly Squad. I mean, as do many other people, I'm sure. But Season 2, I will say I don't think I loved as much as Season 1. It started to get into like a little bit of like Bridgerton territory, where I think almost Bridgerton, I don't know. If you like Bridgerton, you'll like the Buccaneers, but it slows to start in Season 2, where I was kind of just like, why do I care about these characters again? And then it's one of those, it's like Gossip Girl meets Bridgerton, because so the premise of the show is basically like these 1800 like Vanderbilt type women go to England to marry like the landed gentry type people. So to like a lord or a duke or whatever. And the main character, she was actually I forget her name, but she was the star of Looking for Alaska, if you ever saw that movie. She is literally like a manic pixie dream girl, but like Victorian, you know? Like, she's just like, and have you ever seen that thing where it's like the typical like woman in a period piece where she's like, I'm not like the other girls. I don't want to get married. I want to marry for love.
Yeah.
I like books and I like
to run through the dirt with my long dress.
Yes.
Barefoot.
She's like, I like to take my hair down and whatever. So anyways, so I really loved her the first season, and I was like, oh, she's manic pixie dream girl, and she's fucking pissing me off.
Yeah.
So throughout this season, so where it left off was, and these are going to be huge spoilers, but the main character's sister was in an abusive relationship and she was pregnant. So in order to get her away from the husband, she had to marry this duke who she like did love, but then she slept with his best friend in order to like cause a distraction so they could get the sister out of the country. So fast forward to Season 2, there's like all this stuff that's going on, and some of the acting is like okay, some of it's whatever, but the fashion is phenomenal. Like, it literally is just like nobody looked that good back then, but I don't care because I love to see what they're wearing. Like, they have this whole like, it's like almost like a Midsummer Night's Dream type of party where they're wearing like fairy wings and like they have like some glitter on their eyes and like
in Saltburn.
Yes, like one of the girls on the show, she plays Lizzie, is one of those beautiful people I've ever seen on screen. She just is like absolutely stunning. But it's one of those shows where you're like watching it because you want to like see what happens next. But every decision all of the characters makes me want to rip my hair out. Where I'm just like, why are you sleeping with his best friend? Why are you renouncing your dukedom? Why, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, oh, why are you doing these things? But I think overall, I mean, the second half of the season I very much enjoyed. The first half I was kind of like, okay, whatever, it's fine. And it's interesting because like, this comes up in the Gilded Age too, like these mentions of divorce and how it's like kind of, what do you call it? Like taboo at the time. But like the Gilded Age makes it very clear of like how ostracized you'll be. Whereas in like, who played, Christina Hendricks plays the mom, and Leighton Meester plays Christina Hendricks' sister, which is interesting. Haven't seen her on screen in a while.
Okay, so this is kind of giving me an idea of what this show... I was trying to figure out the vibe of this show.
Yeah, it's kind of like... It's one of those things where it's like, oh... In the first season, it was, like, kind of confusing because it's... You know how Bridgerton will sometimes have, like popular music played by, like, the Vitamin String Quartet?
Yeah.
They just have, like, regular music sometimes playing, but also, like, orchestral music or whatever. And it's also, like, a quote-unquote colorblind show, but it was very... We talked about this, I think, like, back in the day when the first season came out, where it was created... Like, it was weird because nobody mentioned anything about race until, like, one, like, black actress in the show, she was just like, oh, you don't like me because of how I look or whatever. And... It was so weird because then, like, everyone was like, oh, and then they never bring it up again. So you're just kind of like, what is the world we're living in? Are we living in a, like, world? Because, you know, like, during this time period, like obviously.
That wouldn't be, yeah.
So I think, like, sometimes it doesn't know what its vibe is. And there's certain things where it's like, this feels historically accurate, but also, again, feels very, like, Gossip Girly, where you're just like, things are happening to move the plot. Yeah. And that's sometimes fine. But it just took a while, and it's one of those week-to-week shows, and I'm here to say, I lose interest in the week-to-week shows. I do. Unless it's one of the things where it's like...
meant to be, yeah. Is it, what is it on again?
It's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
Like, even...
I swear I've never heard of this show. Like, except for you. Like, I've really never heard of it.
I don't think a lot of people, like, if you gotta be, like, in your period piece to know, but it's definitely, it's like Apple TV's Bridgerton.
You are a period piece, what's the word?
Bitch.
No, the person, it's a simple word. The person who corresponded. I mean, yes, but.
Yeah, I know. A friend of the pod, Liz, has been trying to convince, because she also loves period pieces, she's been trying to convince me to watch Chief of War on Apple TV, which I am kind of interested. She loves it.
What? There's something that Liz watched. Maybe it was the Buccaneers. There's something that, like, Liz watched.
It wasn't she doesn't watch the Buccaneers.
What was it that she's told me about so many, like, I've asked her, yes. Every time she's mentioned it, I'm like, what is that show about? And, like, she's told me multiple times.
It's about harlots.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is very good. Like, I started watching season 1. I need to keep going.
Yeah, I get that confused with Buccaneers for some reason. Not sure why.
They are definitely different ladders of society, for sure. And like, I think we talked about this on a previous podcast. Sometimes, I'll be honest, and this is like a fault of mine, but like when it comes to period piece shows, yeah, I do want to see like the wealthy people, because
I think
everything else is too sad. It's too... Life sucked for like most of society, and it still does. It wouldn't
be easy on the eyes.
No. And you know what? I like pretty things sometimes. I like to see the big dresses. I like to see the earrings and the...
That's not what life is, Alexa.
And you know what? If I want to watch
it's okay to escape to a fantasy world.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Like, that's
escapism. It's good.
And that's why, like, when I talk about, like, Pride and Prejudice 2005, Joe Wright's Pride and Prejudice, I'm like, I think that balances it very well, where it's like, these are, like, regular people. There's a pig walking through the house, but also there's, like, moments of, like, real, like, natural beauty that I think, because otherwise, if it wasn't, I'd just be like, I don't want to watch a bunch of muddy people. No offense. You know what I mean?
You know what really, okay, this might not be good to say, but like, you know, when they show like, I'm trying to think of a movie, like an example. Like they really show it in Les Mis, but like when they'll show people and they'll show their like fit, like if they're like supposed to be poor, like, like whatever, they'll show like their face, like they'll show like leprosy or something, or like just their face, like, and it's hard to see.
Yeah.
You know what? Upsetting.
You know what really got me, and I'll talk about this when the season's done, but Blood of My Blood, the Outlander spinoff, where like some people are like, I wish I could go back in time. I was born in the wrong era. No, you weren't.
No, you don't, because you'd be who you are in that era.
Yes. And like I was like, it was disgusting. There's a scene where they're literally like talking to like the laird, the lord of the whatever.
Yeah.
They're like discussing some sort of plan or whatever. And he's just shitting in a wooden hole with a curtain.
Yeah. Even if you were that wealthy, I mean, we walked through
And
that.
he doesn't wipe, like he barely wipes or whatever. And obviously he doesn't wash his hands because they don't know.
There was somebody back then who had a job to wipe people, didn't they?
Yeah, it's the, oh my God, it's the Lord of the Stool.
I guess you wouldn't mind because that's not a thing in your mind. But like,
It was a very honorable position.
yeah.
But yeah, like,
Well,
but,
I mean, for the person, like,
yeah.
I'd be like horrified if somebody else did that. But like, I mean, you just aren't thinking of it like that.
I think what really got me is just like listening to this man go number 2, having like a little bit of a whatever rough time, and then just watching him
Ew.
not wash his hands, and like,
That's nasty.
and I know, like, the thing is, it probably didn't stick out to a lot of viewers, but to me, I'm like, and now he's gonna go live his life, and I like, they didn't know that they
Right.
needed what germs were. They'd be like, let's burn that witch.
So then the question is, like, if you were to go back in time, are you aware of the future, or are you just thinking in that time? Because then it isn't bad. Then you're just
Yeah,
like, this
then
is
you're just
life.
like, this is like, I'm sure people 200 years from now are gonna look at us and be like, disgusting.
Disgusting freaks.
Yeah, like insane.
Disgusting pig freaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just, anyways. So that's my take on the Buccaneers and hygiene throughout the
I don't
years.
love the name the Buccaneers.
I don't either. It's based on the Edith Wharton unfinished novel, which one thing that pisses me off is when you Google, like, what, I love to do, like, if I love this show, what book should I read?
Yeah.
And so I do for this one, and then they're always like, you should read The Buccaneers by Edith Wharton.
Like,
I have.
thank you.
It is not good. I don't like it. It's very dry. It's not the same. If you Google it, if you're looking for a book to read based on this show, it's not The Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Watch The Buccaneers. Don't read it. That's not the one for you. Actually, I know what would be the one for you. It's a young adult novel called the Lux series that I reread during the pandemic. And
Who are you talking to? Me or everybody?
like collective view, everybody.
Got it. Okay.
Probably the one person who would be also interested in this. But if you ever want to, I'll let you guys know. That's the one you should read.
What's it called?
It's like the Lux Luxe series, and it's a young adult novel series, but it held up. I read it as an adult, and it was good.
I think young adult is also for adults.
Yes,
I think.
And you know what? When I was like younger and really interested in young adult literature, I used to read all this stuff how people kind of like shit on young adult literature as being like, oh, this is for young adults, like it's not taken seriously. And it's like, there's a lot of young adult literature that like changed my life.
Right. I was going to say, I still consider some of them my favorite books. So.
Yeah. Like, what am I supposed to be, 12 years old reading War and Peace? Like, cut me some slack. Give me some Twilight.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to bring up another like book to screen adaptation that involves the Brits, I watched, and I have to issue a formal apology to the listeners.
Yeah.
Because a few weeks ago, or like maybe a month or so ago, we do at the beginning of the month, we always say like, what are our upcoming joys? What are we excited for? And I listed this movie, My Oxford Year. So excited. I was pumped. I read this book years ago. I loved the book. It's like right somewhere up there on my shelf. I literally can probably find it for you right now. I don't know why you would want it. But anyways, the book was very good. The movie came out August 6th. So I'm a month late,
wow.
but whatever.
You know the date.
I think it was August 6th, yeah.
What was your upcoming joy, so you would know the date?
Well, it was the week of my Bachelorette.
Oh.
Also.
Right.
Yeah, but anyways, it came out on Netflix, and it was so bad.
Yeah.
It was like a Lifetime movie. So it basically is about this American woman, and they change her name. In the book, I forget what her name is, but in the movie, her name's Ana de la Vega, or something like that.
You're looking at me.
So yeah, do you know?
I have heard horrible things about this. I was like excited when you were about to bring it up because I was like, oh.
I had to watch it in chunks because I was like, I told everyone I was gonna watch this, how excited I was, and it stars Sophia Carson as Ana de la Vega and Corey Milcreast, I think is how you say it, as Jamie. And so Anna is an American grad student who goes to Oxford for a year to study poetry, which is like insane. So she has like this big finance job that she's like put on hold to go study. And while she's there, of course, like this guy drives past in his fancy car and gets her wet. And she's just like, I hate that guy. What a jerk. And she runs into him at like the shop or whatever, and like whatever. And then it turns out he's her poetry professor, which is insane. He's like a TA, like the original professor comes in and is like, sorry, I can't teach y'all this year. Like, I got shit to do. And so he comes in and he's the TA. And I'm like, in what world would Oxford be like, yes, this 26-year-old man is going to teach our graduate poetry seminar? That's insane. And so the whole time, I'm sorry, Sophia Carson, but you are not a good actress.
Okay. I had to look her up because I know, so she's like officially like, is this a Netflix show?
Yeah.
Or movie show?
Yeah, movie.
So she is officially kind of like a Netflix actress. And I know her because of this movie called Purple Hearts that I think also came out on Netflix. It's like a romantic drama movie. And it was like it's not good. Also, it's not good. I mean, people like it, I think, but she's just like her acting is really bad. There's also a weird amount of scenes where her hair is tucked into her shirt, which really bothered me. It looks very strange. Anyway, but I was just going to say, she's like kind of like, she's in a lot of Netflix movies, I guess, but she is from Disney. So she has like the typical Disney.
What did she do at Disney?
She was in Austin Alley. She was in.
Never heard of it. Don't know her.
Yeah. But she was in like I think she's most known for like the Descendants movies, which are kind of like these musical. They're past our time, but they're like these musical movies where it's like they're like the descendants of like the evil queen or like villain. So it's like very Disney, like very like Once Upon a Time coded or whatever. But anyway, that's where her like acting, she's like a Disney actor.
Okay. Well,
doesn't translate to being a 32-year-old necessarily.
Truly butchered this role.
Yeah.
And I think she's not supposed to be 32 in this role. Like she just
is in real life. I just looked it up.
She just graduated college and she's acting like she's 45, where she's just like, I have my life plan. I have like my list of things I want to do at Oxford. And then of course, Jamie, her professor, they start to fall in love and he's like, let me show you some things you should do. This girl is from Queens. He takes her to a Greek food truck and she acts like she's never seen anything like this before. I'm like, bitch, are you kidding me?
You've never been to DC?
Yeah, like, have you never, what are you, like, you're in London eating a Greek food truck? Yeah, you've definitely, I've seen one. I could find you one right now. I live in Williamsburg, Virginia. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. And there's so many things where it's like, I literally wrote down, I was like, it's white girl British porn, where like, it's, as someone who loves white girl British porn, where it's like, oh, like a white girl moves to London and like falls in love with like a wealthy guy who's also super cute and loves books. They show her bookshelf. It is like she doesn't have any recent novels. It's literally, it's like Jane Eyre. Here's Mansfield Park. Here's like you know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's just like, you didn't read White Teeth? There's no Zadie Smith? You're so literate. Also, why did you put off a finance job to study poetry for a year in Oxford? That's insane. Also, her and the professor, when they're flirting, they do this idiotic thing where they're quoting poetry back to each other, and it made me want to rip my hair out. But what really gets me, and this happens in the book too, but it's like more well written, but I think there was a time and a place for this. It reminds me of, and this is going to be a huge spoiler if you haven't seen this, but like the whole time they're dating and he like will be like, oh, sorry, I just really have to focus on my thesis, so I'm not going to be around for a while. Or like, oh, sorry, like there's also like this girl who comes around who's like, you shouldn't date him. And like she thinks that like they're sleeping together or whatever. And so eventually she gets really drunk and she like goes and bursts into his house. And do you want to know what he's having done? Chemo. Because he's fucking dying of cancer, if you can piece that together. Yeah. And I was just like, and again, this happens in the book, but I feel like maybe when the book came out, like, it wasn't such a, like, stereotypical, like, plot point or whatever, but it was very, like, Me Before You, where, like, it's just like, oh, I love you, and now you're dying type of thing. And so then it's, like, this whole thing where they get into these stupid arguments of he doesn't want to continue, like, his care because his brother, they had a rare form of cancer too, and it also passed away, which is also why this guy's not talking to his dad anymore, because his dad is like, why aren't you continuing treatment?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of a lot.
It's crazy unpack. And yet so boring. So boring. But so he doesn't want to continue treatment, and so she has like a birthday party at Corey Milcrest Jamie's house, which is
while he's having chemo?
No, his family home, which is like the Saltburn home, because it always is. Yeah. You're not going to just date some regular British guy. Yeah. She literally, oh my God, this made me cringe so hard. They're like driving down like the long walk. She's got like her hair tied in like a scarf, and she's like, this is how I feel like Elizabeth Bennet felt when she was like walking to Pemberley. I was like, stab me in the face with a knife. As someone who loves that kind of thing, I was like, what a cliched thing to say. I was like, also, you're in a sports car. how stupid. But anyways,
Yeah.
so him and the dad, I thought this was so stupid. Him and the dad are like not talking to each other because the dad is like, why aren't you continuing your treatment? Like, you're going to die, blah, blah, blah. And it's her birthday, but she's brought his dad a gift. And do you want to know what it is? It's a, what do you call it? Not toy car, but like a model car for him and his son to put together, because that's what they used to do when they were kids, which is like overstepping.
Yeah.
You don't know these people.
Yeah, what if the dad was like actually a horrible human?
No, but of course not. He's just like looks at it and he's just like, wow. And then like later that night, him and his son are drunk and they're like playing with swords, putting the car together, and like everything is copacetic, and I'm just like,
and then he dies.
He does.
Oh, wow.
So it's this whole thing where it's like, okay, she wants to like stay in England for a year. He doesn't want her to. He gets pneumonia, and they've had like this really great night together, but I guess like they didn't realize he had pneumonia, and she wakes up and he's dead. But before that,
next to her?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Or like
did you cry at all?
No, because the whole movie was so stupid. And or they did the same thing that like they did in Literally Me Before You, where it's like, these are all the places we're going to go together and do in Europe. And so they show her and him doing these things and like having so much fun. And then they show it again and she's just by herself doing these things, which is like literally what they did in Me Before You, which I don't know if you remember that, but that was the Emilia Clarke movie where she becomes the caregiver to a paraplegic man who
but he like wasn't alive the whole time.
No, he was, but he wanted to commit like voluntary suicide.
What? There was one with Emilia Clarke where she was like,
oh, that's the Christmas movie.
Oh my God.
Yes, I have seen that one as well. Yeah.
Wow.
I forget what that one's called. But that one I actually like. It always reminds me to look up.
No, it's like, yeah.
Because that's what he was like. You should always like look up at things. Nobody is ever looking up when they walk down
that
the
seems
street.
like it actually was a good movie, but yeah, anyway.
I enjoyed it.
This is interesting. I don't think it's something I'm interested in watching whatsoever.
I would be mad at you if you watched this.
Yeah.
I would be like,
that of all things I've told you to watch, Molly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so again, I just have to apologize to the listeners. Don't watch this movie. It is way too long. It's so stupid. She's so stiff.
Yeah.
She's so stiff in it. Like, they're, like, flirting, and I'm just like, her hair is never, they literally, for some reason, have sex in his car in the middle of the rain, even though they both live nearby, and she looks like her hair is perfectly in place. She looks like she is...
better than it being tucked into a shirt.
I don't know if it is.
You have to look that up. It really bugs me. Her hair is always tucked into her shirt in that movie. It's crazy.
And it just makes me mad because I love Corey Milcrease. He is the prince from or the king from Queen Charlotte. He also just is in this show that got bad reviews called Hostage that just came out on Netflix. He's very cute. He's very like British, aristocracy type of cute. I was like, oh, this could have been good.
I think it's interesting because now I'm remembering, like, whenever I would see, like, on our upcoming Joys, I would always see, like, My Oxford Year. Like, you always had that there. And that's
I've been waiting for years. I read that book years ago, and I loved it. It made me really
disappointing.
sad.
Well, you're not alone. I do think a lot of people were very disappointed in this shit-ass movie.
The white girl British threads have been popping off.
When they should be
American white girl British things,
yeah.
When they should have been popping in.
Yeah.
Love that. But anyways, so that's my Oxford year. Sophia Carson, get off my screen. I've never been angrier at an actress. I'm sorry. Why are you in movies? Why are you in things?
I know. I think the
Career
answer is
change.
Disney.
Career,
like, that's why she is the way she is, because I think sometimes people can't get out. If they're Disney actors, they can't get out of that. And unfortunately, again, she's 32 in real life. I had no idea. That's kind of concerning if you're still, I'm not an actor, but like if that's your profession, whatever, do your thing. She's
making more money than both of us.
She's gonna keep getting cast in Netflix movies. So I guess just do your thing.
But
I've told
don't
you my
do your
biggest
thing with my things.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, then that's not on her though. You can't get mad. You'd have to get mad at the producers and the creators of this movie.
Like, I'm sure she's a lovely person, but just find a different
Maybe
career.
work on your acting. I don't know.
Or that. Yeah.
So speaking of TAs, I think that might be a good segue. Nothing's a good segue into this, but you and I both watched
One Night in Idaho.
One Night in Idaho. There's actually 2 documentaries. We're talking about the and we're gonna get
Amazon
into some,
Prime.
Well, I was gonna say we're getting into some very like disturbing, very, tragic topic here, but we're talking about the Idaho 4 murders. And there's 2 documentaries about it currently. There's one on Peacock. I'm not sure what that one's called. And then there's one on Amazon Prime. And, like, unanimously, I think everyone agrees that the one on Amazon... Because I was like, which one do I watch? And everyone says that the one on Amazon Prime called One Night in Idaho is, like, the better one because it actually features, like, interviews from friends and family, most importantly, family members. And or most notably, family members. But I don't know about the Peacock one. I didn't watch that one. I think they don't go into that quite, like, they don't have interviews, but this one did. It was a 4-part documentary, and we both watched it, and I got through Matthew and I both watched it, and it was very fast to get through. Like, it really keeps you
I disagree, actually. Really? So I have to expose myself a little bit here, but that I just, like, I didn't know. Like, I just don't remember when this news happened. So
can I come into that really quick? So I will say, because we did talk about that last week when we had a friend of the pod, Megan, on and I'm not a huge crime junkie. I'm really not. I don't listen to a lot of crime podcasts. Like, I've just never been into, like, crime, like, true crime. Like, I'm really not. But, like, there's certain stories that, like, I know about that, like, for some reason Alexa just doesn't, like, you're always just like, who? Like, you didn't know about the Gabby Petito thing, and I thought about it, and I'm like, it's because, and you're not, like, you're not quite as online as I would say I am. Like, you're not really you're not always on TikTok and stuff, or things just don't reach your algorithm that, like, reach mine. And I think the thing with these, like, cases now is a lot of them are almost sort of, like, they're so, like, TikTok driven. Yeah. Like the Gabby Petito case, that was like the reason it blew up was because there was just so many like online sleuths and like there were so many TikTok videos about it, and like same with this case where it really blew up on social media. Yeah. And that's not always a good thing, but I think that's why it may not have hit your, like, you never really heard about, because you're like, I only listen to NPR. So like it was really talked about a lot on social media.
That makes sense. I feel like I'm more online now that I have more time. This also hit on a time where I just was like, I would not look at my phone for like 8 hours a day, like at work and stuff, or even just like at home, I would just like disassociate.
2022?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So that probably makes sense. But I will say, and we talked about this a little bit too, I just don't think it needed to be 4 episodes.
I don't either. I have said this before, but I do think they need to kind of chill out with the series episodes. And I think Megan actually brought up a good point last week where she said, like, they do that because that way if you subscribe to the platform, you can watch the episodes. Right. Although I think they all come out on one day. So I don't know. But maybe not. Actually, no. But I do agree. I think we've got to get away from, like, let's go back to movies.
Yeah, because I think, and this is, I'm going to say something, like, probably really bad, and I apologize in advance, but, like, the first episode, I understand they were, like, kind of scene setting in terms of, like, describing, like, who they were and how they met and stuff, but at a certain point, I was just kind of like, okay, I think, like, I understand who these people are. Like, they're people that I would know. Like, they sound very familiar to me. Yeah. And so some of it I was like, I think we're over-describing them a little bit.
And they were trying to fill 4 episodes for sure.
That's what I got, like, the vibe of that from.
Yeah. So we're for those who don't know, we're talking about the Idaho 4 murders, which was where 4 college students were killed by a man named Brian Kohberger, who is now in prison for life, for past life. I don't even know. But he snuck into their house in the middle of the night. They were kind of lived in a college party house. Yeah. Used to, just having everyone coming in and out. And it was just this little town in Idaho. Yeah. What was the name of the Idaho town that they're from? Moscow. So the doors were not locked, whatever. They're just college party students, whatever.
It felt that like a lot of it felt really very familiar.
Yeah. And and the thing is, I think this case got a lot of flack, like, throughout, and especially because of the 2 surviving roommates who were there in the house in the night, and they actually saw him sneak in. Yeah. And not only that, but, like, also, I think there was a lot of questions that came up, and I think it was from people who just don't understand college students. Yeah. That where you're kind of, they had been partying the night before, had been drinking. They were, 2 of the girls were sharing a bed, which at the time, like, when the news came out, people were questioning that, which I'm like, they were just friends sharing a bed. Like, I don't know.
My friend slept in my bed all the time.
Yeah, and then the 2 surviving roommates, didn't call the police until 12 p.m. the next day, or
Yeah.
until it was discovered. And a lot of people were questioning that. And it's like, they woke up, they didn't know where they were, like, or they didn't know what was happening. They were
Yeah.
kind of in and out of sleep. Like, it makes
Because
sense.
here's the thing. You have to understand, like, if you're a typical college student, even for them to be like, oh, someone's in the house, like, that's, because that was suspicious at first, where I was like, okay, so they saw someone come in and they felt, like, weird about it. But also, like, okay, you're sharing a house with four other, or
Yeah.
I think it was like 5 people that lived there or something like that. And I would say, like, it's not abnormal for, like, someone to come and go at, like, 3 a.m.
Right. So there was
Or,
that factor.
Like,
They
bring
also,
a guy home. And then, but also, like...
They also were, like, half asleep.
Yes. They
And-
were half asleep. The one girl was like, oh, I ran into the bedroom
Yeah.
to stay with her because... I was like, that feels familiar too. You're just like, okay, maybe, like, my friend brought someone home who, like, I don't know, he seems weird, but, like, whatever. And
in hindsight, I'm sure these girls, it's the biggest mistake of their lives and they'll always regret it. But you don't think that, that it was a man breaking into their... Like, they couldn't
Yeah.
have ever thought that this person was going upstairs to murder their
Right.
friends. Like, they would have never guessed that.
And the thing is, they're like, oh, they didn't report it to noon. I'm like, here's what happened. They'd been drinking the night
slept
before.
in
They
until
slept.
noon,
Or
yeah.
they even, like, they woke up at 10. They're probably on their phone till, like, 11:30. Then they're just like, oh, you know what
Exactly.
I mean?
It's hard to understand if you're not there. And it is
Yeah.
like, you're kind of like, again, I bet these girls will regret that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Not only do they have to deal with that, but they have to deal with people people to this day, even with this documentary out, even with the man sentenced to prison for the rest of his life. Like, even still, people are, like, kind of blaming those 2 girls.
Which the thing
It's
is,
crazy.
it's like, even if they had gone out there, like, he
could have killed them.
He likely would have.
Yeah.
He killed 4 people on his own. So,
Yeah.
like, he probably would have killed them. And I mean, who's to say? I can't remember if they had, like, this part in the documentary, if, like, the people were already, like, if he had already killed them or not. Or,
I think he
like,
was sneaking upstairs. He had already maybe done it to 2 of them and then was going up the stairs when the girl had
Right.
seen him. He, like, said something to her.
right.
I don't know. Here's what I will say about this documentary as well. So when the whole story came out and the 911 call was released, there was a lot of confusion and like, when you hear the 911 call, it's like, I think the surviving roommate, Dylan, the 2 surviving roommates are named Bethany and Dylan. I think it's Dylan who calls 911 first. And the thing is, so when they realized something was wrong, they called all their friends over. Keep in mind, this is a college, like, again, these are a group of college friends. There's a lot of people involved in this story.
Yeah.
That it was just a lot of friends. So, like, they told their friends, one of them was actually the brother of which was actually extremely tragic, but I didn't realize that, like, one of the boys, so it was, the 4 were Xana and Ethan, they were dating. And the other 2 were Maddie and Kaylee. Maddie and Kaylee. And Ethan's twin brother and sister also went to the school. So they were all like a group of friends. And
Wait. I
yes.
missed that part. Was he a triplet?
I think, or at least like 2 of them were twins. I'm not sure, but they all 3 went to the school.
Okay.
They were the 2 who were interviewed. They
Okay.
were one of the 30,000 people who were interviewed in this documentary, which I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But the brother came over and like had like whatever. It was just like, it was like a lot. So they, in the 911 dispatch call, you hear Dylan on the phone. She's obviously freaking out. She's not really talking. She's just calling and is kind of like in shock, obviously, and is trying to say stuff. But the dispatcher is very serious and is very like not emotional at all, just very much like, I need you to tell me what the address is. Dylan keeps passing the phone to somebody, and then that person's on the phone, and the dispatcher kind of snaps at them, and she's like, I need one person to stay on the call. Like, I just stop passing the phone around, just one person needs to stay on the phone. And she sounds really rude, and I remember like a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, like, how she needs to have a little more compassion. When I was watching this documentary, I felt the same way, because it was like, there were so many people interviewed in this documentary, so many friends. And I understand that they were all there.
Yeah.
I understand that they were all, like, I wouldn't even say witnesses, but they were all, like, you know, kind of involved. Just too many people interviewed.
I had a hard time keeping track.
I couldn't keep
and
track
even
of who
like
was who.
Once they found out it was Brian Koberger, then they started like interviewing his
classmates.
And I was like, I don't know how much of that, like maybe one classmate.
Maybe one. They interviewed 2, and one of them it felt almost like hearsay, where he was kind of like, yeah, he worked with him a little bit. He was obviously, a lot of people were like attesting to the fact that he was like an oddball, but very smart or whatever, or kind of. But like, I agree. I was kind of like, you guys don't really know him. You just had a class with him. I mean, anyone could. Yeah, I could be in a documentary about somebody I had a class with who did. Like, I don't know.
And I think what I did really like about this documentary though is that they were really not chastising, but they were like really calling out like the social media sleuths.
Yeah.
Because I feel like on a lot of true crime documentaries, they'll mention like what people are doing on social media or whatever. But like this one, they were really like, these people are ruining the survivors' lives. They're
ruining their lives.
Ruining. And they're also like ruining the lives of people who aren't even involved. Like there was one guy in a white hoodie at like a food truck that people were like, oh, he's following them. Maybe it's him or whatever. And it's like, that was just a guy like on the street. You're not actual investigators. You're not, and people are outside being like, this is where they were murdered. Like that one guy was like literally wearing a hat that says media, and it's like, you're not trained journalists, you're not trained professionals.
No. I genuinely wish that they could arrest every single one of those people. Like these losers, these absolute losers who to this day, there's this one girl on TikTok who to this day, I don't even know her name or whatever, but she's like on TikTok, she still blames the surviving roommate. She still thinks that there's something like with that, like the two, and I'm just like, you fucking loser. And the thing is, so there's two women who get interviewed throughout the documentary, I think mostly in like the third or fourth episode, where they ran a page. They do a lot of like crime pages, but their biggest one was the page it was a Facebook page about the Idaho murders. And they talk a lot about how there was a guy on there named Papa. What was it? It was
Papa Roger.
Papa Roger, who it sounds like it was maybe the.
I think it absolutely was.
Yeah, Brian Kohberger. And they realized, and this was before he was caught, so he was like on there and he was asking questions that they were kind of like, this matches up to they really felt like it was him. But I was like, even you two are losers for having this page. Like, get off. Like, First of all, like, get a job. Like, why are you on social media just making this your entire life? Like, I get kind of fired up about it because I'm just like,
how many cases are you actually solving?
No.
Like, how many times are they actually like, we've solved a case, we've contributed evidence? It sounds more like people are just coming up with like
rumors,
speculative
and also,
theories.
Okay, you're being interviewed for this thing now. Okay, great. You didn't do anything about him then. Like,
the whole time they were just talking about like, like this guy kept
really
posting
like
and he
him.
was really weird, and it did kind of look like him.
Oh my god, that's Brian Kohberger. That was him.
Like,
that was him. You did
what
nothing
great
about it
sleuths,
then.
What great sleuths you were. Like, that's
it just
insane.
really cracked me up. They were interviewing them because I'm like, you guys are losers too.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I actually did think overall it was a good documentary because we got interviews with the family, and I thought that you know what was really interesting too? So they interviewed Maddie's mom and dad and stepdad or dad.
Yeah.
And Ethan's parents. They did not have Xana's family or Kaylee's family. But it was interesting what I like throughout the documentary. They, and it was very emotional to hear from Ethan's mom and Maddie's mom.
I literally, there's like
it was really, really sad.
In the last episode, like they were talking about like what they were doing with their son's remains, and I like was like shedding a tear. I was like, this is really emotional.
And so they were saying like, so like Ethan's mom did the documentary and his whole family were involved in the documentary, but they didn't go to the court. They never went to any of the court hearings. And so it was interesting, but then Kaylee's family did go. Kaylee's sister kind of famously gave a, what do you call that at the end? Like not a witness statement, but like when you give your, not testimonies, but like when someone's getting sentenced, everybody can kind of speak to them.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is. She gave like a very like really emotional, impactful, like, just was like, my sister would have beat your ass like if she had been awake because you came and killed her like a predator. Like, but she didn't get interviewed for the documentary. So it's just interesting like what the families chose to take part in and what not. And that was just interesting to me. But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think what's like was it obviously the interesting part about like the whole case and like the whole thing is very tragic, but is that Brian Kohberger was studying criminology or like like that whatever that term is. He was studying that, and so like that's how, and he would always ask like the thing is like he would ask these questions about like, how did you feel when you killed like this person or whatever, and people were like, these are weird questions, and I was like, if it hadn't been for the fact that he was like preparing to murder someone, I think these are actually really good questions to ask to understand.
Yeah,
like the mind of it. Like I was like, I think they're actually kind of good questions to ask.
Well, I would just assume that is what they're learning in class, right?
But they all seemed like the questions he was asking were so crazy and like creepy, where it was just like, how did you like feel after you like killed someone? What were you thinking? Blah blah blah. Where I was like,
yeah,
isn't that what like kind of the FBI does when they were trying to like figure out how to do serial killers?
Get in the head of their.
What confused me though is, so there's this time period like between the murder and when they figured out it was Brian Koberger, and like they didn't know who it was, and then they said they realized that Brian Koberger had like a cell phone ping on his way from, he lived like, it was like an hour away or something, and like
in Washington, or no, Pennsylvania.
Washington. He's from Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, but how did you know, like how many people, it sounded like he was like on a main road, like how did they know that his, like, to zone in on him? Like I really
figured it out through genealogy. One of his family members was on genealogy, was on like ancestry.com or something, and they somehow figured it out through that. I actually zoned out during that part because I was like, wait,
I was really trying to follow, because they did mention that, but then they mentioned that after they talked about like how they had pinged his phone, and I was like, well, how'd y'all know to do that?
And so one thing about this documentary that was missing a lot, or that was missing and would have filled in a lot of detail that I kind of wish, or that I really wish that they were able to have, was I guess they had a gag order, or maybe not, I don't know, but they have no interviews from the police, nothing from detectives. So I would say the most information you gain from this documentary, other than from the family members, is from this reporter who like primarily reports. She was like from a small newspaper, news outlet in that town in Idaho. And so she happened to kind of be like, when this happened, she was like, well, I guess I'm the main like reporter for this. And so she gave like a lot of detail on, and she's kind of the only point of, like, the only source for this documentary. Because they don't interview any police. Like, I guess they just weren't talking. Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing is, the police did act, they handled it really horribly at first. Like, they announced that 4 people were murdered before even telling the family or friends. Yeah. And then it took forever for the police chief to, like, actually acknowledge, and he even said, he's like, I should have been out here sooner. But like, it felt like they took a long time. Granted, these always happen in small towns, so they're just never prepared for it, I guess.
I was thinking about that. Like, they're just like, we've never seen a murder.
Sorry, like, we got to work with us here. Like, this is our first time too. But anyway, so none of them are interviewed. So there's like a lot of missing detail. Like, I would have loved to have heard how exactly they found him. I think they found him at his parents' house, or at his house. I can't remember, but I think
he was at home in Pennsylvania.
I would have loved to have heard how they found him, like what he was doing when they found him, what his reaction was. Like, I guess they can't talk about that.
I think they found him. They were saying I'm trying to remember, so this might not be correct, but he was on like a cross country road trip from Washington to Pennsylvania back home with his dad, and he had gotten pulled over twice.
Yeah. This man got pulled over so many times.
I know, and I think like that's how they were like, okay, I think they realized he was like at home with his dad, and so then they were able to like contact like the officials there, because when they went to his apartment back in Washington State, it was like empty basically.
Yeah.
I just think like what's also crazy is like they had like the gag order on like the case when it was happening. Yeah. But again, with the social media sleuths, I'm like, yeah, they do this for a reason, because let's say one of you bozos are actually onto something, you put it on fucking TikTok, and the person who committed the crime sees it, is like, oh shit, they're on to me.
Well, because they showed that the police chief is like, yeah, we're not going to be answering your questions because like we are worried that will get in the way. We think we have him, but like we are not going to say because that will get in the way of us getting him or catching him. So I mean, parts of it I definitely got, but I wish that we had gotten interviews from like,
and it's really like, again, it's really sad, because I will say like with the description of like the the people who died in the beginning from their parents and stuff, it was just like they all felt very familiar, like you're just like, this is like a girl I knew in college or a guy I knew in college. Like,
we were talking about like the other day how Maddie's mom was like she was telling the story of how, and it's the shirt that she's wearing. It's the shirt she's wearing in the last photo of all of them. If you follow this case, you've probably seen the photo of all of them, like, out. It's the roommates, like, then it was literally the last night they were, like, all together. But Maddie's wearing, like, a cropped, like, you know, sweatshirt, yellow Idaho sweatshirt that she had cut. Like, she really wanted this sweatshirt. Her mom found it for her and bought it for her, and then she saw that like on FaceTime, she was like cutting it up, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "That's what they do now." Like,
and it looked cute.
That's like what we did in college, like, for and stuff. Like, it was just like, I don't know. It's just, it was very, and it was just so sad too, because I mean, this man, like, he ruined. I mean, this goes without saying, but he really ruined so many lives.
Yeah.
Like, now, obviously, you know, he killed these 4 young people.
Yeah.
And then their families' lives are all fucked up now.
Yeah.
He fucked up these 2 surviving roommates' lives who
Yeah.
are, you know, still they'll probably never be able to be out and I mean, I don't know if they returned to school or not, but I mean, like, their lives were ruined from that for a while.
Or even, like, I forget which one was saying this, but, like, it was one of the guys who, like, in the beginning, people were like, maybe he did it. Like, maybe,
right.
And he was
or
like...
Or those 2 friends, too, were saying they were blamed.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm about to graduate and apply for jobs. If you Google my name, the first thing that comes up is going to be me being accused of murder.
It's just interesting. I mean, he's obviously such a mystery. I wish that, like, with his, you know, because he was facing the death penalty, but he took a plea deal by pleading guilty. So now he's just, like, in prison for life.
Yeah.
And I just wish that part of that plea deal was that he would say why his motives or just give information.
Yeah.
And I know that would obviously
Well, they
never
talked
happen,
about, like,
but...
that so it was interesting because he was part of, like, an incel community. And so that's kind of why he targeted them.
Yeah, I'm sick of that, though.
I'm really
sick of hearing that as, like, the reason. I feel like that's always... I think that's a little overdone.
I mean, if it's the reason, though, that's the reason. But I was rewatching Adolescence at the same time as watching this documentary, and it kind of made me, like, just really afraid for the state of, like, the world, especially for women, where it's just like, oh, like, adolescence is fiction based on reality, and the Idaho documentary is reality, where it's just like, I mean, these people do exist, and they, like, I think are growing in numbers. And it used to be like, oh, they were just mentioned, like, casually, like, oh, whatever, is he an incel? And now it's like, no, I think there are a lot more people out there like that than we realize, and they're a lot more dangerous than we
I guess
know.
I'm just sick of that wording being used. I'm kind of like, this was just a sick, like, psychopath. I mean, there's a lot of incels, but, like, I don't know if they're necessarily all murderers.
No,
maybe,
but I think
know what
it's
I mean?
like
Maybe I'm
being...
just not...
Once they find that community, I think it's like them, because they even said,
it's an
like,
anger thing, like,
after like he committed the murders, he became like almost like a martyr to the community, which is interesting.
Yeah, then, because some people are saying he targeted the one girl. I wasn't clear on that. I didn't see any evidence of that in the documentary, but I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure about that either. Which again is, I think you made a good point of like, if they had police interviews, that would have helped a lot,
because I think like I've always heard that, like, that's always kind of, there was just a lot of back and forth, and again, it's because of the social media where it was just like there seemed to be no like solid information. Like, I feel like I had heard that he had targeted the girl, or that he was talking to her on an app, or that he was following her and stalking her. And I mean, we just never, I don't feel like we really got that information.
Right. Because the thing is, that was what confused me, is like he targeted her, but I was like, she can't be the only like pretty blonde popular girl between like the 2 universities they go to.
I know. I was just still confused by that. And anyway, we said that I don't think we even mentioned this, but the reason I said, speaking of TAs, is because he was a TA for a professor, and he was in graduate school, and he just everybody just saw him as like kind of this weirdo loner. It's funny because sometimes people, like, you'll watch like crime documentaries or whatever, and people will be like, I never would have thought that about him. Like, he was quiet, but he was very nice. And it's like, with this one, I think everyone was kind of like, yeah, I could see him being a murderer.
I feel like that happens more often than you realize, because maybe those ones are like less interesting. But I always like, I know this is way like not way in the past, but like the Columbine shooting, where people were just like, yeah, I mean, that guy seemed like he would have done that.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah,
I think it depends on... It's interesting almost when it's like there's multiple murders. I feel like sometimes the people track with that personality, but when it's like a like a singular murder. Maybe sometimes it's like I wouldn't have expected this person.
Yeah.
But that makes me sound like an internet sleuth, and I have no idea.
And we are not.
We are not.
We're not those losers.
No. Speaking of losers, Sabrina Carpenter came out with Manchild.
Oh, I was like, are you calling Sabrina Carpenter a loser?
I would never have. Well, actually, I was about to say, have you listened to it? But I know you have because I forced you to listen to it in the car with me, but you didn't realize on the way to Busch Gardens.
Oh, I've heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, you weren't forcing me to listen.
I was
to it.
subliminally
Really?
like playing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've heard it so many times.
Unintentionally, I was just playing it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like it. I'm kind of part of that thing of like, I do feel like it sounds similar to her other songs, but I also think that's who she is, so I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, it got really good reviews, which
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised about because the thing is I don't think it's bad. It just isn't like really standing out to me.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of fun like one-liners. There's a lot of it is very just like dreamy synth vibes, which again is fine, and I love Sabrina Carpenter. So I don't know. I think it's I think Rolling Stone described it as charming southern twang over swaths of synths, airy guitar riffs, and funky new disco beats. And I think that's very accurate.
That's a lot.
But it is a lot. But all the songs did kind of like I couldn't really tell the difference from one song to the other.
Yeah.
Which is like interesting because I feel like as a musician, you try to like create an album that feels like a certain way, but I think you do have to like create a distinction between the songs still.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be as successful as Short and Sweet.
Yeah. I don't know if it's our summer album necessarily.
But summer's over now.
True.
Sad. And it also, do you think it's all about Barry Keoghan or, because it's all like about like, it's like a post-breakup album, but I'm curious, like, I just
people
never thought...
have pointed to certain lyrics that they're like, oh, and I'm like, I don't get it, but I don't know. I never really thought they were really real.
I didn't either.
Even though I was like, I never really thought they were real, and I think that even the breakup seemed like to me kind of public.
Because like she had him in the music video, and like we never really saw them together, which was fine, but like I don't know. I feel like maybe it's about other breakups or something. I don't know if it's pointing to this specific.
There was somebody else too, and I forgot who it is. I'm not like deep in the Sabrina Carpenter lore, so I can't like speak. It was him and somebody else that it was also about, and I can't remember who it was because I don't know him. Like I didn't know who it was.
Oh, Shawn Mendes? Didn't she date him?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know anything about Shawn Mendes either.
I don't either.
Except for him with what's her face?
Camila Cabello eating each other's faces off.
Or just walking awkwardly side by side down the street.
Yeah.
Both looking bad.
Okay. I thought you were about to bust
speaking of which,
did
you see the Fifth Harmony reunited at the Jonas, but just as four, because she's obviously not with them, but they reunited at the Jonas Brothers concert, and they're just as out of sync as they were before, and I was kind of loving it.
Wow, that really is like the plot line of Girls 5 Eva.
Well, they're really awful, but like,
yeah,
it's just hilarious.
I didn't like their music kind of when they were popular.
And I mean, I'm sure you've seen like
their
like
Fourth Harmony,
them dancing. It's like they're so out of sync. And somebody was like, "What? Like when you're a flop, but you want to be a flop together or whatever." It's so funny.
Aw. But yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say about Manchild.
I didn't really have anything else to say either. I love the music videos though.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, but I'm sure I will.
Well, I just love the
I've
aesthetic.
seen clips.
Clips. I love like the they're so cinematic. We've talked about it before,
she gives like Dolly Parton, Marilyn Monroe combined, you know?
Yeah.
And her hair's not real.
No, she actually there's a photo that came out today where she's like, or yesterday, whatever, she's in a bald cap, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess she does wear wigs.
Yeah, and people were shocked by that. I was like, have you seen her
I don't
hair?
Think of it. Like, I'm wig blind. I've told you. I don't know when people are wearing wigs.
Except for Nicole Kidman. I always know when she's got a wig on that head.
But I didn't know that until you pointed it out.
That's crazy.
And it became part of our, like,
I feel
culture.
like I'm pretty good at, like...
I would say it's, like, our number one thing of this podcast is Nicole Kidman's wigs. And I don't...
Really?
And I never really thought about it until us, so...
Aw.
Until us.
That's what's gonna bond us forever. Nicole Kidman's wigs. Head.
What's her favorite wig of yours?
I hate them all.
Your favorite wig of hers?
Maybe her Moulin Rouge wig, I feel like, I can't remember if that one was a wig, but I feel like that looked most realistic, or her practical magic.
Oh, see, I was thinking more of her modern wigs, I guess.
I hate them all.
They're awful now, yeah.
They're so bad. I've never...
It's a weird red color. I don't get it.
Like, if we're going to spend millions on a movie, like, really put into that wig budget. That's, yeah. Speaking of, though, musicians in the media lately, you were going to tell me about Cardi B's lawsuit.
Yeah. You're right, I was. So I don't know.
Well, I haven't heard about this.
A friend of ours, Cardi B.
Cardi B, who we've met and know personally.
Yes. She won a $24 million lawsuit. Well, she was found not liable for assault and battery in a civil case against her by a former security guard.
Interesting.
And so that's big. She's been in this, like, lawsuit.
What happened?
So it was first brought up against her in 2020, but it was from a 2018 incident. So... a security guard, her name is Amani Ellis, accused Cardi B of spitting on her, using racist slurs, and slashing her face with fingernails outside of an OBGYN's office.
Whoa, not the OBGYN.
I know. So Cardi B was pregnant at the time. Again, this was in 2018. So she was pregnant at the time. She denies the physical altercation. She says that Ellis, the security guard, was filming her. And she obviously, that's bad. She was filming her on her phone, and while she's leaving her OBGYN's office, so that's like an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
So and she kind of says, like, she's like, how could I have assaulted her? I was pregnant and she's bigger than me. And so a doctor was on the witness stand. They said that they did not witness a physical altercation. So anyway, long story short, a jury unanimously cleared her today, but apparently as she was leaving the courtroom, she was like kind of yelled at by a paparazzi. She threw a marker at a paparazzi while she was signing autographs, and so she took a marker and threw it at a paparazzi after he asked her if she was pregnant with Offset's child, and she was like, a man shouldn't be asking that. Like, if you were a woman, you wouldn't be asking me that. And so she assaulted someone.
Wow. Marker to the face.
Really wild.
She's not wrong, but like crazy to do that right immediately getting out
very,
of
very
court.
funny, actually. So anyway, so that's sort of the TLDR of the lawsuit. But I thought you'd want to know she won the lawsuit. So
I'm actually like, Cardi B seems like she just probably has such interesting day-to-day interactions.
She also fell asleep. There's like photos of her falling asleep in the courtroom. It's very
Us
entertaining.
At 3 a.m. in the club waiting for Cardi B.
Waiting for her, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think we feel?
Yeah, exactly. Now you know.
Imagine how tired we are of it.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so that's kind of all the update I have on that.
She has 2 kids, right? I know the first one's name is Culture.
Yeah, so I think this is when she was pregnant with Culture was when that happened.
Oh, really?
I think
that was
so.
a while ago. Culture's the...
How old is Culture? Because this incident happened in 2018 and she was pregnant.
Oh,
so.
Then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would be Culture.
The lawsuit was brought on in 2020. But yeah, so...
hang on. So she has... Okay. So she has a daughter, Culture, and then she also has a son named Wave. And then in September 2024, they had another daughter named Blossom.
Oh, so she has 3 children?
I did not know that.
Maybe possibly pregnant with a 4th, but
this is the AI overview, but
I don't know.
But so speaking of like just interesting interactions, so I just want to touch on the Love Island reunion real quick because it was so weird.
Okay, I did, yeah.
So, like, I ended up watching the previous season and their reunion, and that was weird because they bring, like, everyone back. So it's, like, 30 people, but they're really only talking to, like, 7 people, like, the 7 most interesting people. This one, they did a better job of, like, getting everyone, like, involved and asking questions, but it's Ariana Madix who hosts the show, and then Andrew Cohen from Watch What Happens Live came in and was, like, co-hosting it with her. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but, like, it was, for the most part, fairly boring. It was 2 hours long. It didn't need to be. But there were just some weird interactions. So the big one is Huda, who everyone knows now. Hurricane Huda. She's the one who was like, I'm a mommy.
Yeah.
So she's been dating this guy, I don't remember his name, but he's from another Netflix dating show. And they asked her, they were like, Huda, you know, like, you've been a little bit quiet today. Like, what have you been up to since the show filming, like, has wrapped? Like, what's the update on your love life? Because she had left the show single.
Right.
And she was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't speak about that. Long, awkward pause. And they said, what? And they were like, well, can you, like, what do you mean? Like, you can't give us an update on your love life? And Ariana Madix, like, I saw you, like, on the red carpet with someone. She was like, legally, I'm sorry, I can't talk about that. And Andy Cohen was like, legally, what do you mean? And she was like, it's because of she was like, something where she was like, because of Netflix, like, I can't legally speak about that. And Andy was like, well, like, it was so uncomfortable. It was so strange because they're not on Netflix, mind you. This is on Peacock.
Yeah.
And she's just like, legally, because of Netflix, I can't speak about that. And Andy Cohen is like, well, someone should let Netflix know that this is the #1 show on streaming and television.
Yeah. Like, why are you here?
Yeah. It's like, why would you bring up but
if they were together on a red carpet, then...
I don't know. Well, they're not together anymore. And someone was saying, like, maybe it's because it would ruin the ending to whatever reality show that her boyfriend is on. But I'm like, everyone knows that they've been together.
But don't you think, I mean, wouldn't she know that she's probably going to be asked about that on the show? Wouldn't they have been prepped for that? Or were they just trying to stir up?
I don't know, because she also made it sound like she had the contract. Or like she had something going with Netflix, which is why everyone was like, what? So then afterwards, like immediately afterwards, I think this is according to E! News, Netflix changed their bio to like, don't at me, or something like that, which is kind of funny. And then they put up a billboard with like a quote from Huda that was kind of like almost making fun of her. Because everyone was just like, what do you mean Netflix? Like, it was like, I almost want to show you the clip. It was like incredibly uncomfortable.
I'll watch it after this.
It's so wild. And
it's so funny.
They literally were just like, so anyways, I guess we'll move on. And so then the other thing that was so strange about it is there's a contestant on there. His name is Austin. And he reminds me of Luke Wilson, like on drugs. Like just the way he talks. And like there's like, they're talking about like this drama that happened on the show, part of which involved him. Mm-hmm. And they were like, well, Austin, like, what are your thoughts on this? And he goes, sorry, I've been zoning out for like the past 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
And literally Andy Cohen and Ariana Madix are like, what? And they kind of like restate
I can't with like reality show reunions. They're always so uncomfortable.
It was so strange. I would literally like, there were things he was saying throughout like the whole time where I was like, is this man on drugs? Like they were just like, they restated what they were talking about. And he was just like, I honestly don't remember that happening or something like that.
Yeah,
he was like,
sounds like
I don't know.
Wow.
And they were like, what? And it was so, like, it wasn't even just like I don't really want to talk. Like, just the way he was speaking, the way he was zoned out, I was like...
Yeah, he was on something.
I was like, this is so strange. It was so weird. But then, so the winners, Amaya and Brian of this past season, they were like, how are you guys doing? And they were like, oh, we're doing great. Like, you know, and you have to remember this was also filmed like a month ago. But they were like, we're doing great. Like, I go over to his mom's for dinner and blah, blah, blah. And they addressed the fact that, like, people had suspected that they had broken up because he had been, like, at the club or whatever. And Amaya's like, you know, I wouldn't put up with anyone treating me poorly. So, you know, like, I wouldn't be with someone if they weren't good. You want to know what news hit the next day? That literally the day after the reunion was released, they're broken up.
Aww.
And that's why, like, again, like, the previous Love Island season, like, a lot of those people are still together. They're still, like, in love or whatever. And this season, it was just, like, nobody was here for the love. Like, it was literally, even Amaya and Brian, I think they had something, but it was just, like, they weren't going to work out. Like, they were just kind of forced to be together because they had to in the last, like, 2 weeks.
Well, I'll be honest, like, when we were talking about it on the show, like, I forgot that it was a love, like, the point of it is to, like, get people together. Like, I just think, like, I feel like now it's just known for the drama or the the big characters and, like, the funny viral moments. Like, I forget that it's, like, actually, like, Love Island. Like,
and what I also thought was interesting was, because, you know, the whole Sierra stuff where she got taken out for racist comments, like, in the middle of the show. On the actual filming of the show, they never really talk about Sierra again after they just said, like, she had to leave due to like a conflict of interest or something like that. Like none of the, I want to say the characters, the cast, like whatever, they don't talk about her, or if they do, they don't show it.
Yeah.
But they brought her up during the reunion.
Was she on there?
No.
Wow.
Which I was kind of surprised. I was like, if you're not going to like invite her back, which I understand why they didn't, they kicked her off the show.
Talk about her,
then,
maybe.
Yes,
yeah.
But like they had asked like Nick about her, who had been partnered up with her, and he was like, they were like, have you had any conversations with her since leaving the villa? And he was like, no, because I saw like some of the stuff she was posting where it was like she was like kind of throwing shade at him, like getting together with Alandria, who was like her friend in the villa, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, Nick, what I want to know is how did you feel about like her getting kicked out? Like, that's what I want to know. I'm like, and also like, yeah, she posted some shade. I think it is valid because you guys were, you were basically her boyfriend in the villa. And you didn't seem that upset that she left. Like, you literally went on to the next one.
He's also only known her for, like, 2 days, so.
Well, at that point, they had known each other for, like, at least a month. But again, like, 24/7, whatever.
Right.
So I just thought that was interesting. Like, the vibes were just strange.
Yeah.
All around. Like, very weird. And I also don't know why they brought Andy Cohen in for this season.
Well, he is pretty good at, like, doing the reunions. So.
Yeah, but I mean, he has like no involvement in this, you know, like
maybe because Ariana Madix was the host, and so
maybe
that's like, you know, she's from his channel.
Yeah. He has great hair. I never watch anything like I don't watch any of the Bravo stuff, and so I was really looking at him, and I was like, wow,
he's very put together. He coked out as he may be, I don't know if everybody always thinks he is. But,
oh, interesting. He didn't seem like it on this, but everyone else
he
seemed.
Does on his show. He's interesting. I have very mixed feelings about him. I think he's actually I think he's funny like, I think he's a good interviewer, actually, but I also think he's like, he makes me mad sometimes. But, interesting though. Yeah, I had heard a lot about that, so I was wondering if you were.
I just like
it.
I do have to play you like the
Netflix
Huda
thing
Netflix.
is funny.
It was so. It was
she's
just like
a weirdo. Like whenever I see her in things, I'm just like, she's so strange.
She is like she seems completely different outside of the villa than she was in it. It's just, and maybe it's like a PR media training, and you can tell like she has a full team now because Alandria was like she was asking her to like make a post to her followers because she was getting like bullied online because people like Huda had gone on a podcast and said that she was a bully or something, even though they were friends. And she was like, people were making racist comments. She was like, I begged you to make a post to your followers to like ask them to stop. She was like, you have a voice and a platform and you didn't use it. And Huda was just like, I'm sorry, there was a lot going on at the time. Like
busy.
I was busy. And she was like, and I had talked to my team about it, and like I was like, your team?
Your team? Well, she would have a team.
Yeah, she does have a team right now. And Alandria was just like, it was a post. Just a post you could have done. How busy were you?
Wow.
And I was like, that's very true. Anyway, so that's the Love Island. We're done with this season.
Yeah. Sounds like a time.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of shocking, crazy things,
I
don't really know a good transition, but
speaking of a cast of characters,
SNL Bloodbath.
Wow, yeah. That's what I've heard.
So I don't know if you've been keeping up with like the announcements of departures and
I was, and then it was so many. I was like, I don't know.
Well, a few weeks ago, Lorne Michaels announced that there would be major changes to the SNL cast, and he was right.
Did they get rid of TikTok girl?
No. And okay, so I have thoughts, so I'll get into it. But okay, so basically it was announced, I think it started with, I believe his name is Emil Joachim. I'm not quite sure how to say his name. So hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But he is a very newer, I think he was only on this year, like literally this past year, I think he was new. He was the first to kind of he announced via Instagram, and it was kind of very clear that he had been fired from the show, let go. But he kind of like announced like through this kind of emotional post, like he was not coming back this year, and he was, obviously, but he's like, on to newer things, whatever. And so he was the first to be announced to be leaving. Then Michael Longfellow, who I'm whatever about. A lot of people love him though. He was sort of starting to like really be big on Weekend Update, and people were sort of comparing him to like maybe like a Norm Macdonald type, comedian. Like I didn't really see it. I'm not a huge fan of this newer generation of SNL. I'm just not. I mean, there's very few on this show that I found really funny.
Yeah.
And so I just hadn't really gotten into him yet. But anyway, he was also announced to be leaving. And then Devin Walker is also leaving. Again, he's newer. I don't really, he was funny, but I mean, I hadn't really been I'm super connected to him. But the one that really got me is Heidi Gardner is leaving. And I might have been, I'm not quite sure if that was on her own terms. I assume it was, but she's leaving after 8 seasons.
Yeah.
And she is one of my favorites. She's always been very, very funny.
What this reminds me of is like in that SNL 50th documentary when they talk about like the Robert Downey Jr. season, and the last skit is literally like them taking the whole cast and like burning them in a locker room.
And the thing is, like, there are some on the show that I still like. Like, I love, obviously there's Bowen Yang. I love Mikey Day, but there's some that have not been announced that I'm like, go ahead and announce them as leaving. Like, you're probably referring to Jane. I think Jane, I don't even know her last name. Jane.
TikTok.
She's from TikTok.
Yeah.
She's the most, like, she's not, the thing is, like, she has her niche comedy, and that's fine, and a lot of people like it. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't translate to sketch
SNL,
comedy.
yeah.
And I mean, she's had more, like, in the last season, she was in more things. She does this kind of, like, singing thing. I don't know. I just don't think she's very funny. She's extremely wooden, really awkward. So she's not, like, really good in sketches where it's, like, not about her. You know what I mean? Like, she's just, like, not a very good actor. So it's, like, I really wish they had announced she was leaving.
Well, one of the guys, so I was going to talk about this next week, but I'll mention it now. Like, Please Don't Destroy is kind
so I was going to get into that. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, they're breaking up. Like, one of them got promoted, one of them staying as a writer, and one of them is moving, like, not on the show anymore.
So, yeah, and
I can't remember any of their names.
I was actually going to say, so out of, like, the people leaving, they did announce 5 new members added to the show. The notable ones, there's one that her name is Veronica, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Slowakowska. She's from TikTok.
Okay.
So a lot of people know her. And that's another one where I'm just like, okay, but is she funny? Like, is she going to fit into the SNL, like, like, is she just funny from TikTok, or is she really going to be funny on SNL? And so that, like, she has, like, a large following, so a lot of people, like, that was kind of a notable one. The other notable one was Ben Marshall, who I actually am excited about. I really love him. I actually have a huge crush on him. I think he's a cutie. He's from Please Don't Destroy.
Oh.
He is the tall, redheaded one.
I think he's cute,
he's
too.
He's cute. I have, like, such a crush on him.
The thing is about Please Don't Destroy is I wonder sometimes if you're shooting yourself in the foot by making yourself, like, the Lonely Island. I really only know Andy Samberg from the Lonely Island. I don't remember the others. And, like, even with Please Don't Destroy, I'm like, I don't know their individual names off the top of my head.
So there's Ben Marshall, there's John Higgins, I think his name is.
Yeah.
And then I forgot the other one's name. Oops.
And so,
but but the other two, so Ben Marshall's the only one out of the 3 who is not a Nepo baby. So it is kind of funny that he's being moved up to a cast member. One of them is still staying on as a writer, but the one who's, his dad is literally, like, was, like, head writer on SNL. I don't know if he still is, but, like, he's, like, very involved in SNL. He is actually leaving the show. I don't know if it's just his doing, but I'm like, damn, so they're not gonna like, I love the Please Don't Destroy sketch. Like, I used to hate
watched
them.
the movie.
I know, I really thought the movie was funny. I think they're funny. That's growth on my part, because when I first saw them, I did not like them. I did not think they were funny, and they really grew on me, and I, like, came to, like, love. Sometimes they're the only funny part of the episode. And so now they're, like, not gonna be, I'm sure they're still, they said they posted about it, they're still gonna be, like, working together, but just, like, not on the show, so it's gonna be different. But I do like that Ben is moving up to cast member. I think he's really funny, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I really like him. He's the one that's I mean, I do think he's a little cutie patootie, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I feel like SNL is in a very precarious position almost with this, like, just, like, the transition of viewership and the way people, like, just view things in general.
I don't know. I just think, you know, they've also got to really step up their host game, too. They keep having, I mean, maybe it's just how it always is, but I feel like lately I haven't been super pleased with their hosts either.
I can't even name the most recent one.
Like, sometimes they'll have, like, people that I like, but I feel like a lot of the time it's like, and this is no I mean, I'm a fan of her music, but I don't think like Charlie XCX is like funny necessarily.
Yeah.
So I just, sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, like we're just having people on that for the, you know, for the show, but they're not necessarily like, I can't sit through their sketches without cringing. Like, it's not funny to me. But you know what's interesting is SNL has such a fan base now. Like, literally, like, you go on Twitter and it's like, they have like literal, like, you know, stan like pages, like whatever. And it's interesting because that are like stan accounts. And I'm just like, that's not how SNL used to be. If a sketch was not funny, it didn't get a lot of laughs. But now it has so many fans that it's like, people are laughing through every sketch just because they're people want to like the show, you know, people want to find it funny. So it is in a different place now, I feel like. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
I'm curious as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, okay, so we're going to bring back something we haven't done in a while after I made a faux pas.
You didn't make a faux pas.
I felt really bad about it.
I know you didn't. It makes me feel like awkward that you feel bad about it. Because I really wasn't actually mad, and I feel like you took it.
Well, I remember, so what we're talking about is we're going to do our movie assignments.
See, it's so joyless now. You say it with such, like, sadness.
No, I actually, once I realized what I was going to assign, I am excited for you to watch it. It's one of my favorite movies, even though I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't know. I'm not sure I know.
It's one of my favorite actresses.
Okay,
at least.
don't spoil it.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you're going to say now. I know what you're going to say. Continue. Anyway, continue.
Interesting.
Yeah, continue.
What do you think I'm going to say?
No, go with your thing.
Well, I mean, I was going to... Okay. If you don't know, we, like, every now and then we'll give each other, like, a movie assignment or, like, a show to watch, to come back and discuss that the other one hasn't seen.
To kind of broaden our palettes.
Yeah. And you have. Like, I've never watched so much Marvel as I have since we've started this podcast.
I did not say that many Marvel. I think I maybe said one Marvel movie and one DC movie. What
was the DC movie?
Like I told you to watch the Dark Knight movies.
I always think that that's Marvel.
See?
Jesus.
I guess I need to assign you more so you
I guess so.
Anyway, like Alexa was referring to when she assigned me to the Coneheads movie, and I wasn't actually mad.
You said I could tell that I was
confused.
You were like, the internet isn't even working to let me pull this up, and I was like, just
everything's working against me.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't actually mad, but I think you thought I was.
I hope we can do, again, I think we're going to do this with a little bit more frequency in the fall, or I hope we do, because I have some good, like, fall ones that I've been saving for, like, a year. I've been stocking them up. But I was saying before, I was like, I don't want to sign them now, because I know, like, it's false fall right now. I'm going to assign you a cozy fall movie. It'll be 90 degrees, like, the next time, you go to watch it.
Okay.
So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, the movie that I would like for you to watch is Brooklyn.
I knew you were going to say Brooklyn.
Yeah. Because I forgot to put it on my list for you, but I was, like, thinking about it, and I was like, that, I think, is going to be a home run.
I feel like it's sad. Is it really sad?
No.
It's not?
No.
My dad actually really likes that movie, I think.
I love it. I watched it twice on the plane to Spain once.
You what? On just one plane?
Yeah, I mean, it was like an 8-hour flight.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think you'll like it. I don't know what it's streaming on. I'm sure it's on something. Maybe I'll rewatch it too.
Let's see.
I'm gonna get my flu shot this weekend, so maybe I'll like feel bad. We'll see.
I don't think you will just from one flu. I always did if it was like the flu shot and the COVID shot.
My recommendation, don't do that. That really will get ya.
Getcha. Okay, it does say Brooklyn is on Hulu subscription, and then it says requires add-on.
I'll find it. I'll rent it from the library for you.
You and your library rentals.
That's what
I know. It's what the library's for.
Yeah.
I really appreciate and respect your dedication and contribution to the library, because not a lot of people do that anymore.
I actually don't go as often as it probably seems like I do.
It does seem like you go often.
I go maybe like once every 4 or 5 months. It's really only if I I bought this book. You know what? Do you prefer hardback or paperback books? I'm really getting off topic.
Paperback.
Same. So I got this book from the library, A Little Life. It's literally 800 pages. It's a hardback book. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to read the first 50 pages. If I like this book, I'm going to bite the bullet and just buy it in paperback because I'm not carrying not only is it 800 pages, but it's also hardback.
And not only is it like hardback, but it's got that nasty little plastic wrap around it. I cannot. That's what part of I'm like, I can't really, I can't go back to the library.
I don't even like buying hardback books for myself. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on that. But anyway.
That's just us.
So if we can't find it, we'll give it a library view.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So my assignment for you is, I think I've told you about this before, but it's a movie called The Little Hours.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you've seen it. I actually think you'll really like it. It stars Aubrey Plaza and Allison Brie, and Dave Franco's in it. So this is kind of on the topic of Together.
Okay, what's it about? Like, I feel like I've heard this title.
It's a comedy, but it's based on stories from the third day of the Decameron, so it's like 14th century.
Oh my God, the Decameron.
Yeah, they're nuns.
Okay, yes.
And they live in a convent. And, like, it's just so funny. It's, like, a weird humor. But Matthew and I watch it actually all the time. Like, I love it. I don't know. It's just so, like, it has so many people that I love in it. It has Aubrey Plaza, Allison Brie, Dave Franco, Molly Shannon.
Okay.
Fred Armisen's in it at one point.
Did you ever see the Decameron Netflix show?
No, you talked about it, though. Like, okay, it's just weird. It's like a very weird tone, I guess I would say. It was written by Aubrey Plaza's late husband.
Yeah.
I believe they were broken up, but he wrote it, and it's such a good movie. Like, I just love it. I think you'll like it too. I'm kind of curious to see how you'll feel about it, but it's got interesting themes to it.
Oh, okay. So I'm excited.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then I'm sorry, but I feel like you will.
And you guys can watch along with us and tune in next week and let us know your thoughts. But I think we're going to wrap it up today with our upcoming joys. Like I've said, at the first week of the month, we try to say, like, for the next month, some things that are coming out that we're excited for.
Yes.
So do you want to do I'll go, you go, or you go, I go?
So you have dates with yours. I don't actually have dates with mine.
That's
so
okay.
I'm sorry,
that leaves a little bit of mystery. Yeah.
Intrigue.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so my first one is, I actually decided this yesterday.
You stole this from me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know this was a movie.
I knew this about before you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know this was a movie until we saw, it was a trailer yesterday for a movie we saw, but I was like, I want to see this. It's Twinless, and it comes out on September 5th, so honestly, probably by the time you're listening to this, it'll be out in theaters.
Oh, yeah.
And it stars Dylan O'Brien and other people, and it's about two separate twins. Their twins pass away, and they're, like, grieving, and they form a bond, but it becomes dark.
It does. I told you. So I had actually heard about it when, I want to say it was the, what's one of the, what's the film festival? I can't think of it.
Cannes?
No.
Tribeca? Venice?
It's like Tribeca. It's like one of the, what's like the other Tribeca one? What's like the major one?
TIFF?
Yeah.
Toronto International?
Toronto. It was, yeah. So it was like one of the film festivals. Premiered.
So I'm like Sundance?
Sundance. It was Sundance.
South by Southwest?
Okay, it might have been Sundance. It premiered at Sundance. Let's just say it was Sundance. But it was like one of the film festivals. And I was like kind of reading, and like it stars Dylan O'Brien, who I'm like a new fan of.
Ever since he was in Teen Wolf, he really was shined in that show.
I never watched that, but when I really MTV. Was kind of like, oh, this man, like, he's a good actor, he's cute. Like, I really loved him in
he's so cute.
In
Maze
Saturday
Runner?
Night.
Oh.
No, I never watched Maze Runner
I
either.
never saw it either.
Any of these things that he's known for is not what I watched.
He was in this show, or I think it was a movie actually on HBO that came out this past year called Caddo Lake, Caddo, and that got really good reviews.
I didn't like it.
Really?
I tried to watch it though.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthew and I watched it. I think the thing about him is I always thought of him as just like, oh, he's from Teen Wolf. Like, he's maybe not like the best actor or whatever. Like, I actually think he's a good actor. He's really interesting to me. He's very funny.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the movie is directed and I think written by James Sweeney, who also stars in the movie. And it looks really interesting. I hope it's
What is
playing.
it called?
Twinless.
Oh my God, I thought you were talking. I was like, Dylan O'Brien's in 2 movies that we're putting in our upcoming joys? That's
what is
crazy.
Anyway, I have a feeling feeling it's not going to come out anywhere near us. It makes me
Yeah,
kind of sad.
so we'll not let
We'll
you know
see it
about
at
that
some
one.
point.
Yeah. What's on your list?
Okay, so I told you guys about this today, but I'm actually really excited for the movie The Long Walk.
Oh yeah,
which comes out, I think, like September 12th or something. It comes out very soon. But it's based on a Stephen King book, and it's actually like one of his earliest books. We were talking about it today. Like, it's weird. Two of his like earliest books, which were written under his like, what do you call that? Like an anonymous pseudonym, are like coming out this fall, like at the same time. But The Long Walk is like a dystopian, set in a dystopian world where these boys like just have to walk until the last one is standing, and it's like in this totalitarian like universe. It has Mark Hamill, but it has Cooper Hoffman, who is Philip Seymour Hoffman's son.
Okay.
And he's a really good actor. He was in Licorice Pizza. If you ever saw that movie. He's a really good actor, and I really like him. So I'm like, and it looks like a really interesting movie. So.
He was also in Saturday Night Live.
He was,
and it was crazy because in Licorice Pizza, he looks like a child, and then in Saturday Night Live, he looks like a 35-year-old man.
He does, and he's only 22.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't know how he did
acts
that.
in Saturday Night, he seems like he's so much older.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this, he plays, I guess, a teenage boy. I don't know. But something about him seems really much more mature than what he is.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's just because he seems to have really inherited his, some Nepo babies, you're kind of just like, they're a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
But, like, actors like Cooper Hoffman, I'm like, you definitely inherited a gene there.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm excited for that movie.
Okay. I am excited. This is like a little bit of a hot take. Here I am again. For The Paper, I'm excited to just see what it is. So it's the Office spinoff. It comes out September 5th. I love Donald Gleason.
I love him too, and I'm actually really shocked he's in this show.
I am too, and I think that gives it the credibility it needs for me to be like, let me give it a try.
I hope so, because here's the thing about it that's a little like, is there now apparently all the episodes are releasing at the same time on Peacock, which is like,
that's fine. That's what I need.
It's what you need, but I think it kind of means
it's what I want, but not what I need.
It means that the reviews may not have been great.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, like early reviews. I mean,
yeah,
that's what people are saying. So who knows? Actually, I walked into Dunkin' this morning, and on the TV, it showed him. The manager from the White Lotus season 2 is also in it. The woman, the Italian woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Oh.
So anyway, they were being interviewed on the Today Show. I saw it this morning, and I walked out of Dunkin'.
Oh, interesting.
That's all I saw. But I'm just saying. That show is coming out. That's all I can say. But I love The Office. I just don't know.
Nothing's gonna live up to The Office, I don't think.
No, and I kind of thought we were over the. I guess Abbott Elementary still does it, but I'm kind of a little over the mockumentary style.
Yeah, I think it's very 2011
or 2005.
Yeah,
I
feel like once Modern Family did it, it was just like, okay, now we're good.
Yeah.
Now we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Do you have any others?
I've said this before, but as all these we didn't even really talk about like Venice Film Festival, Tribeca, like all of those.
They're all happening.
We'll
talk about the movies when they hit our screens.
I guess so, but I was going to mention that Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein premiered, and I know I've mentioned it before as like an upcoming joy, but like now I'm very joyful about it.
Yeah, it's gotten amazing reviews.
It got a very long-standing ovation. They all do, but this one got a very long one. And it's apparently really good, and I'm really excited to see it. So, and we said we were gonna do because it's for some reason coming out on Netflix, which I think they are really.
I think Guillermo del Toro must have like some sort of contract with Netflix.
But it just seems like he would want it in like a big screen format. So I don't know, but we said we're gonna do a watch party, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and so the final one I'll say for both of us is the new season of Only Murders in the Building.
That's this week.
Comes out September 5th. When I looked it up earlier, yeah.
I was wondering when it was coming out.
Yeah.
Coming out.
I'm
excited for that.
It's popping out.
Honestly, haven't even thought about that.
It's popping in September 5th.
Speaking of Dylan O'Brien, so Logan Lerman is in the new season of Only Murders in the Building, and
they have a similar vibe.
Well, no, everybody says like they are like everybody gets them confused, and I have to say I do agree.
And I don't know why, because it's not like they really look alike. It's just like
do.
they have the same vibe.
They like really look alike.
It's actually. Like they. This is weird to say, but they both look very clean. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they look like they wash their face with Clearasil since the day they were.
Clean boy aesthetic.
Yeah.
I am not the biggest fan of Logan Lerman. I don't think he's like all that great. But
yeah, all I know is the Lightning Thief. Oh wait,
no.
Perks.
Wait, he was in Percy Jackson. Is that the Lightning?
Yeah.
Thief? Okay, Percy Jackson. And yes, he was in Perks of Being a Wallflower, and he's just fine to me.
Yeah. What has he not done anything since then? That's crazy.
He's also in Fury. He's been in a lot of things since then. I just don't personally watch those things, but
interesting.
He's whatever. But yeah, I am excited for the new season. I just always love those little old men. So
yeah, I do love those little old men.
you know.
But anyways, well, that's all we have for you guys this week. As always, thanks for listening. Please like, rate, review, subscribe.
Turn on that notification
Yeah,
bell.
hit that bell and share with your friends because we want to grow this community. We love you guys and we want more people to love us. It comes back to us.
It's always about us in the end.
Yeah, it really is. But again, thank you guys for listening and we'll see you next time. Bye.